All right, everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Got the preseason NFL DFS video here for you for the Thursday slate. So we got 4 teams playing. We got the New York Giants, we got the New England Patriots, the Tennessee Titans, and the Baltimore Ravens, which you guys will find out is actually a really good thing because the New England Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens have been 2 of the easiest teams to predict in terms of preseason fantasy usage. So we are looking forward to that. Just kind of going over it once again, a little bit from last week. So last week we saw that the predictability side of it was right on point. You know, the predictability side of it really came through. The players that we thought would do well, did well, or got their touches. The defense obviously dominated like we thought that they would. And then the unpredictability side of it came through as well, where the fourth quarter really was touchdown orientated from kind of some random guys. So that is part of the equation always. And you're kind of just trying to mix and match your way with those kind of unknown players. So if you did that last week, you had a really solid week. If you just played the top plays, like the defenses, unfortunately, and the kicker, unfortunately, last week, well, you might have had a really good week as well. That's what this video is about. It's about highlighting the top plays and then the players that could also be really good. And with it being a 2-game slate, you know, we're going to have to mix and match a little bit more than we would typically like to. Okay, so we're going to get into it here, guys. Let's go. So I'm going to go game by game like I did last time, okay? And I'm basically going to be reading off the 9-to-5 write-up that is already available on 9to5sports.com. I will put that in the comment section below for you guys to, you know, read if you guys want to do that. So I'm going to do it like I did last week. I'm going to go through kind of coaching tendencies because that is kind of step one. Figure out what the coaching tendencies are. And like last week with Bill Belichick, we kind of thought, hey, Josh McDaniels might be pulling some of those tendencies from the New England Patriots because, well, that is what he's used to. And we saw it come through. The thing with Bill Belichick and John Harbaugh is that they are great with running backs. Okay, they just are great. Typically speaking, there will be 1 or 2 running backs from both teams, the Ravens and the Patriots, who just get a lot of rushing attempts in the games that they are expected to play. We've seen that with Rhamondre Stevenson. I think it was the last 2 years. I'd have to go back further to see which players it was exactly for the Patriots because there's been a lot of kind of just random practice type players that get like a bulk load of the carries. And I've kind of highlighted who that player or players could be this time around. And then we're also going to be doing that for the Baltimore Ravens, who last year is Nate McCarry and Tyson Williams. This year it might actually be Nate McCarry and another running back who I'll touch on as well. So just kind of breaking it down real quick more so like for the New York Giants, we don't really know what to expect so far from their head coach. He's been around a lot. We don't really know what his tendencies are. There's nothing to really read into there. So we're kind of just not drawing any conclusions there. I already touched on with the Patriots. Typically speaking, you can get a really good running back with them, maybe 2 running backs. They have typically had 1 really strong receiver you can play. And then it really depends on the quarterback situation because we've seen Tom Brady play in the first preseason game for them. We've seen him play in the last preseason game as well. It's kind of just weird. I think it's more or less, hey, they want to get a good look of maybe a player or a formation or whatnot. And I think that's the overall goal really with Bill Belichick and the Patriots. So like real quickly, Mac Jones might not play that much. Brian Hoyer could play like a half. And that might just be the fact that they don't trust their rookie quarterback too much because they might think he's not ready. And so to get a good look at other players in the offense, they might play Brian Hoyer a little bit more. The one takeaway, though, from them and the Patriots is that defense. Their defense is pretty good. And that's the same thing with the Ravens. Their defense, one of the best. So I think we're going to be playing Patriots or Ravens D. If you're doing showdown slate, you might want to think about playing them in the captain spot. Ravens, you know, it's running back defense, pretty simple there. Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans, they did have Sargent, the running back that we thought about playing a little bit last week, who had the most carries in the preseason last year. Well, he was a Titan last year, so it wouldn't be shocking to see the Titans kind of go with that approach. And then just real quick, looking at the last 4 results for these teams in their preseason week 2. It's kind of preseason week 2. It is the first week of the preseason. NFL counts. It's weird. NFL counts the Hall of Fame game as week 1 of the NFL DFS preseason. We also know that they shortened the preseason now to 3 games. Okay. So what I did is I looked at last year's week 1, first game for every team. Okay. And then I looked at week 2, which would be the second week after the Hall of Fame game. Okay. That's what I'm looking at. And so the records are going to be Bill Belichick and the Patriots 3-1 in that game. John Harbaugh and the Ravens 4-0. And the Titans were 2-2. I didn't look at the Giants because different coach, different system. Not too worried about that. So really, if you're betting on these games, Patriots, Ravens, okay? So the quick, easy takeaways are going to be that we probably are going to have 3 studs to go with. You want to be playing the Ravens or the Patriots defense, whether that's in showdown or whatnot. And then also kind of looking at the Ravens-Titans game, they're probably going to run the ball a lot in that game, okay? So maybe just betting the under in that game is going to be the way to go. All right, so now kind of getting that over and done with. Now let's get into the actual plays for this video. So we are going to be starting off with the quarterback situation here. Looking at the New York Giants, it is kind of tough to figure out what exactly they're going to be doing in the quarterback room. We have seen Daniel Jones kind of just suck, okay? We see this report down here, this little blurb down here. Just not playing well. We know it. He's just not that good of a quarterback. We can see that. And it does seem like there might be a little bit of a quarterback competition going on with Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones. Just the fact that some people, beat reporters, and New York Giants beat reporters are not that great. Okay, they're not going to give us too much, but just the fact that there's kind of that rumor going out there that Tyrod Taylor is playing a little bit better. I don't know. I think they might want to play Daniel Jones a little bit more. But if there is the possibility of anything of a QB competition, we might see a quarter and a half of Daniel Jones, a quarter and a half of Tyrod Taylor, and then probably the second half of Davis Webb. The biggest takeaway is that we don't know what to expect from this quarterback room. So for the most part, as it sits right now, not really a quarterback room that you want to be targeting too much. The running back situation is a little bit better. So we can see Matt Breida, questionable. Antonio Williams, this news story is coming from like a week ago. From what I've seen, it seems like he's going to play. Don't know that for sure. Not confirmed yet. But what we've seen, it seems like he is going to play. So we just have to wait and see. The one player that has been standing out is Gary Brightwell. He's been making a lot of plays thus far, I guess, in camp. And honestly, it really wouldn't shock me if he went out and played well. He's a player that they were excited about last year as well in the preseason. Gets another year under his belt. Like, if there was one running back from this team that I liked, it'd be him. I will say, I don't want to butcher his first name. Jashawn Corbin, kind of a practice squad type player. He was an undrafted free agent out of Florida State. He did have some good production at FSU, like good enough to the point where kind of caught my eye a little bit. You know, he does have the size. He does have the speed. He had some film that said, hey, could be a practice squad type player in the NFL. I wouldn't be shocked to see him score. I'm not really trusting it, okay? Like the Brightwell play I like a lot more, but if there was another secondary play, it would be him. And then Sandro, I'm not going to butcher his last name here. Kind of just a fun player to watch, international player. In last year's preseason, he busted off like a 45-yard run. Just, it was fun to see. Kind of, it's always cool to see these kind of international players come over and play because they have a little bit of a different running style. It seems like one of them's always like popping off a big play. So far, like really maybe Brightwell and Corbin, or the Giants, don't love either of them. All right, so getting to the receiver room, the only one you're really excited about to see is going to be Robinson, okay? But the one news story that we got from the Giants is that the starters are not expected to play much, okay? We got to see if that holds true for Daniel Jones. That's the one thing I want to throw out there. And we should get that news before lineup lock. Once again, I'll have that updated on the write-up. But is Robinson going to play? He is listed currently as the first team receiver on the depth chart. If that's true, he might be the exception to starters not playing a lot because he's a rookie receiver. You do want to get them some reps. You want to see what they can do, get some film on them. So I think he's going to play, probably a quarter and a half. Is that going to be enough? Can that be 5 targets for, I don't know, I always kind of say 40 yards and 4 receptions? It possibly could be. Are they going to be good targets? I don't know. Like, if there's one like risk reward type play in this game, it would be him. Should note that David Sills is recorded out, but look at all these receivers they have. They have a lot of receivers, guys. So for the most part, that's why this is a stay away. That's why the Giants, for the most part, are going to be a stay away. The one takeaway from the Giants that I actually do like is going to be the tight end spot. So reportedly, he broke his wrist. Okay. Wow. All right, so Andre Miller broke his wrist, not going to play. Ricky Seals-Jones, not expected to play. They got Jordan Atkins, who is, a veteran. I don't see why he would play. Okay. So that really leaves us with two tight ends. We got Daniel Bellinger here, who rookie tight end. He's been getting a lot of hype. Okay. And, really to me, he seems like the one great play that we have for the New York Giants. Just because the tight end spot, you really don't need much. And if we could get 3 points out of the tight end spot on a main build, now sure, Showdown Mine is probably not playing him. But if we're making like a build like this, we could get a tight end to score any sort of points, we'll take that. We'll say Austin Allen here, not terrible. He's also a rookie. Had a good season in the Big Ten last year. Could be someone that splashes. I won't be shocked if he plays well. Really, to me, it's going to be Austin Allen or Bellinger, I think, on the slate for tight end. I'll wait to see to confirm that. Now we get into the New England Patriots, which I'm much more excited for. So we got Mac Jones here. Let's see. All right, so Mac Jones not expected to play. That's what I have as well. Just want to make sure there. That's good news. So we have Brian Hoyer and Brian Zappi. Is that how you say it? Zapp? I honestly don't know. Or Bailey Zappi, sorry. I honestly don't know. Okay, we have to wait and see. The thing with the Patriots is, like I said, they might use Hoyer to get good reps with some certain groups and whatnot to get good film on them to determine the outcome of those players for camp and whatnot. The thing with it is, it's like, I wish I knew how to say it. Bailey here, he is going to most likely get a half of football. We can almost guarantee that. He might get a half and a quarter of football. Brian Hoyer might just get a quarter of football. Like, we just don't know. But the thing that we can predict is that most likely for sure, we're going to get a full quarter out of Bailey here. Okay? I don't really know anything about him, to be honest with you. Looked all right. That's basically all I got for you guys. I apologize. I wish I had more on that. Patriots quarterbacks always seem to do enough in certain situations. It's okay. It's an okay play. The thing with it is, playing time matters, and that's what it seems like we're going to get out of him. So we move into the running back situation here, and this is where it gets nice. So I do kind of expect Damian Harris and Rhamondre Stevenson, they are kind of in a little bit of a position battle. I kind of expect them to get some carries, okay? It wouldn't be too shocking. They all got carries last year in preseason, week 1, 2, whatever you want to call it. Stevenson obviously was a preseason stud last year. If he is the running back 2 to them, I could possibly see him still getting some run. That wouldn't be too shocking. Damian Harris getting some run wouldn't be too shocking. And then J.J. Taylor as well, getting some run in this one would not be too shocking. I kind of expect those 3 to get the first half for the most part. About 5 touches each total for them. Okay. And, if any of them get 5 touches going against some backups and whatnot, that could be enough to do well. But really, what we're looking at here, interesting here. This is a new updated injury note. I did not see this. Limited by undisclosed injury. Okay, he's been a full participant in practices. Good to know. That's new from what I currently last saw. He is the one running back here that I actually like the most. If he is held out, that means we're going to go to Kevin Harris, okay? Then we just lock that in. We feel good about it. But Perry Strong here, he looked good on field. He was productive in college, just like Kevin Harris, and it's like both of these two. I honestly, let's just take out Brightwell and Corbin there. We're going to put Perry Strong and Kevin Harris into our builds because both of them were productive in college. They're both getting some hype out of camp, and they're both kind of like your prototypical practice squad type running back that the Patriots like to use to run into the ground, okay? They don't want their starters to get banged up, and they kind of want to chew the clock to get out of the preseason games, okay? And they kind of typically use 1 or 2 running backs to do that. I think it could be both of these guys. So I could see them getting around like 8 rushing attempts each, and that should be enough to potentially, get 4 DFS points, maybe a touchdown as well. At the very least, they're going to give you some raw points, and I like those two a lot. That's typically been a strategy that I've went with in the past, and it's really worked. So you could easily do that as well. So the receiver room is kind of crowded there for the New England Patriots. They do have Ty Montgomery listed as a receiver. I have a sneaky sneaky idea that he could kind of end up taking James White's spot, maybe on the roster. I know James White is a captain and whatnot, but Ty Montgomery has been a kind of a standout in camp, and how it seems like they're using him, it seems like how they want to use James White, or how they did use James White in the past. So that's kind of just something to monitor as the preseason goes on, just kind of a storyline to watch. Last year's preseason stud, though, was Christian Wilkerson, and he really hasn't gotten any hype out of camp. It's very strange, actually. I don't really know what's going on there, but he's a guy that really produced last year in preseason DFS, and honestly, guys, he should be better than this competition. We did see him have a good week in week 17 for the New England Patriots as well. He is basically like Jacoby Myers from 3 years ago with NFL preseason. Like, I expect him to get open. I expect him to get targets. Like, if he's playing a full half of football, I think he's going to get like 7 targets. Should easily hit value. He is like the one player I really like a lot. And it's just without that much hype is kind of what I want to throw out there. So that should be a good play. Not that much hype coming out of camp, but that might just be because he is what he is. Like, they know what they got in him. The other one is going to be the rookie receiver, Tyquan Thornton. Okay. He basically, to me, looks like Denzel Mims 2.0. And they're both former Baylor receivers, skinny, kind of fast guys that I personally don't like. Can he get open for a deep ball? He could. He's been getting a ton of hype out of camp. The New England Patriots beat reporters really like him. You could easily play him. You could easily run out a New England Patriots stack like this, honestly, guys, and feel pretty good about it. From there, the tight ends, like, I don't care too much for the tight ends. Didn't really see much on any of them. Just natural thought processes. If he's out, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith probably not going to play too much. You know, one of these two could do something. That's really it. I didn't see anything in them, but we know preseason DFS is all about opportunities. Maybe they do, but, you know, personally, I just don't see it. That'd be something you guys would have to go with. And then also, just once again, just reiterating defense, okay? Switching up and going into the Tennessee Titans here, guys. Sorry this video is going a little bit longer. Obviously trying to explain the thought process behind the plays for you guys. At the end of this video, I'll kind of just show you a quick summary. So getting into the quarterback room, Ryan Tannehill, is he really expected to play that much? I don't think so. We didn't get reports confirming that or not, but why would he play that much? Logan Woodside. Now, Logan Woodside and Matt Barkley only threw the ball 24 times combined in this game last year. That's not a lot. That's not a lot of passing attempts, okay? So, you know, Woodside's still there, and obviously they brought in the rookie, Malik Willis, okay? It makes perfect sense for Willis to play a lot this game. I do expect him to play about a half of football. So if you want to play another tight end, another quarterback that isn't Bailey here, Willis would be the guy. You know, it's kind of the obvious route there. Should get a full half of football. I wouldn't say that's guaranteed, but it should be kind of a lock for him to get a decent amount of playing time. The problem with it is it's tougher to stack him, and I'll show you guys why in a second here. Getting into the running back room, really the only one that I like is going to be rookie running back Julius Chestnut, okay? That's kind of just going back to kind of Sargent last year, the Tennessee Titans running back from last year that had the most rushing attempts in the preseason. Chestnut here would kind of be the same type of running back, okay? And he has been someone that has been getting a decent amount of hype out of camp. Like, I really don't mind him. The thing with it is, like, we've seen the Patriots strategy, we've seen the Ravens strategy when it comes to the running back spot. They just want to get out of the preseason. They want their running backs healthy. These practice squad players are kind of expendable, okay? And that's what I think Chestnut is going to be for them this season. So he could easily be that guy. If they are going to go that route again, like kind of just having one or two practice squad running backs, like we've seen the Ravens and Patriots do, he would be that player. Do we know that for sure? No. Has he been getting hype out of camp? Yes. Okay. There's another rookie running back in there, Haskins here. I don't know much about him. Rookie running back. A lot of people are going to be excited to watch him play. Both of them really make the most sense. I think they're both quality options. But when you look at it, like Derrick Henry not going to play, that wouldn't make sense. Trenton Cannon, I don't want to say he's a veteran now, but he's a guy that's been around. You got Jordan Wilkins there, kind of a veteran there as well. Those two kind of just make the most sense to get the most opportunities. Once again, I still like the Patriots running backs a little bit more, and you guys will see I like the Ravens running backs a little bit more as well. Looking at the receivers here, though, the receivers do make sense. You got Treylon Burks here, who, he has not been getting love out of camp. No one really loves the news coming out of Titans camp when it comes to Burks, okay? He's reportedly struggling in camp, and, maybe he's just a gamer. Maybe he's just someone that needs to show it on film. We got to see. We honestly just need to see it. And this is the perfect time to show that. Will he play a full half of football? Probably. Probably going to play a full half of football. Rookies, receivers kind of just need the reps. One rookie receiver that honestly probably has been getting the most hype out of any rookie receiver in camp, or maybe any player in camp, Kyle Phillips, guys. Kyle Phillips. Every single day I see something pop on Kyle Phillips. He's always open. Always open is pretty much the story. Just, man, Ryan Tannehill and Kyle Phillips connect for another, easy touchdown or whatever. Seems like every day we're getting that news story. So maybe someone to look at in like best ball drafts. Maybe someone to look at in showdown slates. If you're looking for a lineup filler as well, he makes a lot of sense. Like a player like this, we could see get 4 receptions in like a quarter of play, like 4 receptions in one drive. I always like to target those players that get open early and often. And that's kind of like why I like Wilkerson. It's also why I like Phillips, because if they're open and they don't even play that much, they still should get the targets and the receptions, okay? So I actually do really like Kyle Phillips in this one. He'd be someone, if you do play Willis, you want to stack with. And if we're going to do like a Willis stack, it would be Willis. And you could go Burks. You could go all rookies there, okay? Not a bad build there as well. After that, don't care about their tight end situation as well. Flipping over, we're going to get into the Baltimore Ravens. So the Baltimore Ravens were good last year for the quarterback situation because Tyler Huntley was our guy. He's not. I don't think he's going to be our guy now. So Lamar Jackson's there, probably not going to play. Tyler Huntley, maybe a little bit of QB battle with Brett Hundley, and then also Anthony Brown. I don't know much about Anthony Brown, to be honest with you guys, but the fact that there's 3 quarterbacks there, 3 backup quarterbacks there, 2 decently good ones, Hundley and that's Huntley and Hundley. What are they doing to us, guys? They are both pretty good. Like, if we get news that one of them's going to play a half, I might just lock them in. But we're not going to get that news, I don't think, okay? So it's kind of just a stay away. Like, I could see Huntley scoring. Okay, he's great with his legs. I could see him scoring. I could see Brett Hundley throwing a touchdown as well. If he's going against backups and maybe even third stringers, he could easily score a touchdown. Okay? We just don't know how much they're going to play. So to me, it's safer to go with someone like Willis and definitely Bailey and maybe even Brian Hoyer. Okay, that's the thought process there. So this is where it gets interesting there for the Baltimore Ravens running back room. Take Burks out of there. Let's look at the running back spot. Okay, so J.K. Dobbins not going to play. Gus Edwards not going to play. Why would Mike Davis play a lot? That wouldn't make any sense at all. Corey Clement, more of a veteran. They typically haven't played their veterans that much either as well. So that leaves us with 3 running backs. Justice Hill, who has had his own injury struggles as well. Tyler Batty and Nate McCrary, who was a guy that we played a decent amount in last year's preseason. They ended up with the second most rushing attempts. And then last year, Tyson Williams also had 24 total rushing attempts as well, which was pretty high in the preseason. So McCary had 42, Tyson Williams had 24. That's over 60 rushing attempts between those two. And it was kind of expected that it'd be those two. Well, for this one, I'm expecting it to be Nate McCary once again. Okay. Did he do a lot in that preseason? No, he kind of sucked. He just had a lot of rushing attempts and had an okay floor. Tyler Batty, though, kind of getting some hype out of camp. I'm a little bit excited to watch him play. I kind of think he'd be the guy I go with the most just because, getting hype out of camp. I've kind of seen it on film with my eyes. I don't mind him. He'd be the one that I go with, but both of them should be pretty good plays. Where I'm leaning towards strong for the Patriots, it could easily be Harris. Where I'm leaning towards Batty for the Ravens, it could easily be McCary. Okay. It's just we're taking our best guesses here. And I guess that's the biggest problem with this year compared to last year, is that last year, and even last week, the news made it easy to know who we should be on, where we're taking the news, we're absorbing the news and making our best educated guesses from there. Okay. We're not really exactly getting just yet, this guy's going to play a lot. Okay. We're making our best guesses. Receiver-wise, a little bit tough. Like, I've never really liked any of the Ravens receivers. We got a bunch of them, okay? A few of them are questionable. We got to wait and see what the news is on them is going to be. Like, I don't want to say any of these guys just yet because, one, none of them really have popped at all. None of them are really getting hype out of camp. The only one that's been getting hype out of camp is Devin Duvernay, and then you also got James Prochet, who I think could be a nice little sneaky best ball player, but he's questionable now. Probably not going to play. Why would he play? Then you got Rashad Bateman there as well. Like, just too many names there. And with the Ravens strategy of trying to run the ball a lot, it kind of just leaves the receivers out in the dust. And then you got the tight end room. Like last year, Josh Oliver was a good preseason tight end. He'd be the third tight end that I'd be looking at. Don't love any of them too much. So for me, I actually do want the Ravens defense over the Patriots defense, just so you guys know. So really what it comes down to here at the quarterback room, and just to highlight it once again, what we're looking at is we're going to be looking at Willis. We're going to be looking at Bailey. And then maybe a little bit of Brian Hoyer. Like, that's kind of what I'm going with unless the news changes. From there, running back room. We already got 3 of my favorite ones in there. You could also throw in McCary in there. I like Chestnut. I think it makes sense for him to get some run. Brightwell is the Giants running back that I like as well. Don't love anyone too much. You got Corbin there as well. Like, okay names there. Receiver-wise, obviously, there's a lot of receivers on the slate. Someone can catch a random touchdown. We can see that. But I do like Wilkerson a lot. I think he's going to have a nice, safe floor. Kyle Phillips, if he's going to get a decent amount of playing time, I do think he's going to get open. And I think he'll have a nice floor. Thornton here, he's a guy where kind of a hit or miss play. I do think he's going to hit. But if you're going to be playing him, then you got to be playing Bailey as well as the quarterback. That's kind of just how it works, just naturally stacking that. From there, guys, like it does get difficult. You're kind of guessing. Like Cody Hollister is a guy that typically does get open. He's kind of Kyle Phillips before Kyle Phillips, I guess. He gets open. Like, I don't mind him. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at. Kinsey as well. Like, good enough. He gets open a lot. Like, there's other names you could go with. Just it's tough. The Giants just have a bunch of names there as well. It's tough to really say this guy's going to do well. Tight end wise, just really quick. Once again, Bellinger, I do like. Austin Allen, I don't mind as well. And then Josh Oliver. And then defensively, Ravens and Patriots. That's just what I'm rolling with in this one. But I do apologize. I know that was a little bit longer video. In the next video, for Friday's video, I'm just going to be going position by position and telling you guys my thoughts there. This is recorded at night, so I apologize if it wasn't as sharp as I typically would be, but obviously the plays are going to be good. I was doing research throughout the whole day, watching some film on it as well. So the write-up is going to be available for you guys in the morning. I'll have that posted in the comment section below. It is ready to go, but there might be some typos. I was doing that while I was doing the research and watching the film. Haven't had a chance to read it since the rough draft version of it. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Hopefully you guys cash again. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, subscribe. I do appreciate that. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing.